What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. If you're new, welcome. My name is Mibi Afolabi and I film content on faith, marriage, lifestyle, which includes living in South Africa on this channel. If that is anything you're interested in, please do well to click the subscribe button, turn on post notification so that you know when I post a new video. And if you end up enjoying this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up. It goes a long way in helping my channel. So in today's video, I'm just going to be gisting you guys about the names of things we call differently in Nigeria and in South Africa. I'm Nigerian, by the way, but I currently live in South Africa. So I've been here for about 18 months and there are things that, I've seen or I've learned that South Africans call differently from the way Nigerians call them, right? Like some words. So let's just get right into the video. So the very first thing I'll be mentioning is load shedding, and load shedding is something that we are currently facing in South Africa. Like, it's back to back. So like when I'm talking to my Nigerian friends, my friends who are majorly Nigerians, and we have load shedding, I have to like explain to them what load shedding is. They will say, what's that? And I will say, it's power cut. Like, yeah, we have power cut. Now, why don't you just say power cut? The other day, my friend in the UK was talking to his South African colleague. His colleague was telling him, oh, sorry, I couldn't join the call on time because I had load shedding. And my friend in the UK was saying, what's load shedding? So the South African colleague had to explain to him word by word what load shedding is. Because, yeah, it's not a known concept in Nigeria. In Nigeria, we just say we don't have lights. And that is just how we say it. If you want to be tush, you can say we have power cuts or we don't have power, or you just say NEPA has taken lights. Like, NEPA has taken the light. NEPA is our ESCOM, right? It is ESCOM in South Africa. In Nigeria, it is NEPA. I think now it is PHCN, but we still call them NEPA. So we just say we don't have power or we don't have light. NEPA has taken light. But in South Africa, they say it's load shedding. We have load shedding. Load shedding is the uncool way to say it. Load shedding here is like we say we don't have light, right? Because I was on Twitter some days ago and somebody said, oh, ESCOM with power cuts. Something like that. Somebody tweeted that. And people in the comments were like, why are you trying to tushin it up? Or why are you trying to make it sound fancy? Load shedding is load shedding. So load shedding is like the rise way, it's the uncool way of saying it. If you're saying we have power cuts or we don't have power, then that means you're making it sound nice. But when you say we have load shedding, yeah, that's the indigenous language of saying we don't have power. So the next thing is the use of the word shame. And I will equate it to how Nigerians say eya. So when you're relaying a news to a Nigerian, a good news or a bad news, a Nigerian will probably say eya. Like, if it's a good news, eya, oh wow, eya, eya. If it's a bad news, eya, sad, eya. So the same way we say that in Nigeria is the same way they say shame in South Africa. So you're telling a good news, oh shame, oh shame. Maybe you're saying, oh, I had a very tough week. You're like, oh shame, oh shame. Or you're saying, I'm looking for a good news now. Oh, I've been enjoying my new car. You say, oh shame. Ah, congratulations. Oh shame, something like that. I'm just like, shame how? It's just the way we say, hey, yeah, they say shame. She gets, yeah. The next thing is the buses, right? The buses we have in Nigeria, the 18-seater buses, 12-seaters, all those big buses are what they call taxis in South Africa. What we call taxis in Nigeria are the small cars, the 3-seaters or 4-seaters. The small cars are the taxis, then the big ones are the buses. But in South Africa, the big ones are taxis. I've never entered one. I don't know what it looks like inside. It's just normal 18-seater buses, 12-seater buses. I don't know how they operate, but the big buses in Nigeria are called taxis in South Africa, which is very weird. Yeah, very strange. And I've mentioned this before on my channel. Nylon, what we call nylon in Nigeria, are called plastics in South Africa. So if you say nylon, probably would not understand what you're saying. Like, can you put it in the nylon? They don't understand what you're saying. But when you say, I need plastics, when you go to a supermarket, they will ask you, do you want plastics? So plastics are nylons. But in Nigeria, we call them nylons, poly bags, nylons basically. But they're plastics. In South Africa, the next one is pap, right? Pap is like the native food in South Africa. If you're in South Africa and you have not had pap, then I don't think you're beating anything, because so pap in South Africa is a swallow. They eat it with vegetables and meat. But pap in Nigeria is like custard made from maize. So pap in Nigeria is what you take like custard. You add sugar, you add milk if you want. But pap in Nigeria is what you take like custard. But pap in South Africa is a swallow. You make it on fire like you're making amala, semo, poundo. Yeah, so their swallow is pap. Our pap is custard. So another thing that I have to get used to hearing, I particularly don't have to say it, is hairpiece. Hairpiece, attachment. So South Africans call it hairpiece. How many hairpieces do you want? What color of hairpiece do you want? But in Nigeria, we say attachment. Like attachment, everything is attachment. You are attaching it to the hair, so it is attachment, right? That's what we say in Nigeria. But South Africans say hairpiece. First time I heard it, I'm like, what's that? Hairpiece. We call it hairpiece. We call it attachment. Then the next thing, this one is very funny. This one is actually absolutely funny. The next thing is robots. Robots in South Africa, and I'll never get used to it. Like, it's always funny every time I hear it and every time I have to say it. I don't think I have to say it, but every time I hear it, it's funny. Robot is traffic light, and I'm like, why is it robots? It's traffic lights. Like, traffic lights just makes sense because it is traffic lights. But they call it robots in South Africa. Wait for me by the robots, or you make a turning by the second robot, something like that. Yeah, but I mean, robots is robots. But robots in South Africa is traffic lights. So the next thing is garage. What they call garage in South Africa is what we call filling station or petrol station in Nigeria. I don't even think they say petrol so much here. I think they say gas. Going to the garage is I'm going to the petrol station or to the filling station. Filling station is what we call it in Nigeria. However, what we call garage in Nigeria is the motor park. So where the buses park is the garage. So make sure you take a bus at the garage. That's what we say in Nigeria. But here in South Africa, garage is the filling station, right? So the motor garage in South Africa is called taxi rank, right? So you go to the taxi rank to take taxis, and taxis are big buses. I hope I'm not confusing you. Even me, I'm confusing myself, but I hope I'm not confusing you. Then the next thing is cold drink. Cold drink in South Africa is soft drink in Nigeria. I don't know why we call them soft drinks. I don't know. I don't know, because I don't think they're soft. Your Coke, Pepsi, Sprite, Mirinda, Fanta is cold drink in South Africa. We call them soft drinks in Nigeria. You know, when you have a big house, there is usually a very tiny house behind the big house. So in Nigeria, we call those tiny houses boys' quarters, right? But in South Africa, they are called granny's flats. So I don't know, maybe that's where they put their grannies. I don't know. But they are called granny's flats in South Africa. There is another name they are called, I cannot remember right now. So if you are South African and you're watching, please tell us in the comment section another name that is called. But in Nigeria, we call them boys' quarters. I don't know why they are called boys' quarters as well, but yeah. Boys' quarters, granny's flat. Tomato sauce is another thing that is strange. What we call ketchup is tomato sauce. Tomato sauce instead of ketchup. In Nigeria, it is just ketchup, but here it's tomato sauce. So if you are saying ketchup, the locals might not really understand what you're saying, but I'm sure that some people would, but the locals may not really understand what you mean by ketchup, because they don't do ketchup. They do tomato sauce, even though it absolutely tastes the same. Then my absolute favorite is braai. So braai is equivalent to suya, even though I think suya is sweeter than braai. I don't know, there's just something about suya. But I see, you guys, I'm South African already. I'm saying ish. But there's something about suya, but I'm not sure South Africans will enjoy suya, especially if you don't like spice, because suya is spicy. But I love braai as well, especially pork braai. A fave. So yeah, so we have braai and we have suya. So because my pastor is Nigerian and there are a lot of South Africans in my church, and one time pastor was preaching and mentioned suya, and people were looking at me like, okay, what's the meaning of suya? And I said, it's your braai. Your braai is your suya. Your braai is our suya, right? Yeah. So that is, and I love braai. So that is the end of this video. I hope that you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed filming it. It's something very light, just for you to see the differences in the two countries. What we call this is what they call that in South Africa. This is just a very light-hearted video, just so that when a Nigerian visits South Africa, you can be familiar with some of the words, and if a South African visits Nigeria, you can be familiar as well. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up. It goes a long way in helping my channel, and share this video with your friends as well. Thank you so much. Till next time I come your way, I hope that you do well, and God bless you. Bye.